Hey guys, I'm Kevin and welcome back to the third part of this 5-part series where we will be learning how to build an OAuth 2 action-based GPT. So till now, we have seen what are OAuth 2 action-based GPT and went over a product walkthrough of the final GPT that we would want to build. In this session, we will do a high-level architectural overview of the full GPT flow. So let's get started. So there are three main actors in this whole flow. First is the wallet journal GPT. This is the GPT that lives on OpenAI but configured by you, the developer. One of the things that the configuration contains is the action or APIs that you would like the GPT to know of. As per the second thing is the GPT also has an encrypted token store, which contains the OAuth 2 access token and refresh token. And as per the documentation, all these tokens will be saved by OpenAI in a secure fashion and encrypted at rest. The next component is the Google Identity Provider. Building an industry-grade OAuth 2 server with all the security and encryption is hard. Also, this will entail people needing to sign up with your new service. So to circumvent this, we will be using Google as our OpenID identity provider. And the last component that is needed is our middleware service. This service will be responsible for two things: being the man in the middle and help with the OAuth 2 token exchange between OpenAI and Google, and the second thing is managing the core business flow for the wallet journal. We shall be using Firestore to store all the user data like balance and transactions into the Firestore basically. So now let's see how it will how the whole flow starts with. So it will starts with the user asking a question like, okay, what is the amount and what is the balance in my wallet. The wallet journal GPT converts it into an action and realizes that hey, it doesn't have a token and needs to get the token. So it initiates the OAuth 2 token exchange flow. It reaches out to our middleware, and our middleware mediates and redirects the user to Google. The Google returns back the words to access tokens to us, and we redirect it back to the GPT, and the tokens are stored in the token store. Now that GPT has the tokens, it can start with the by calling us the business level APIs. This time it makes a call to our middleware to get the required balance amount, but in this case it will pass us the access token. This access token will be exchanged with Google to validate the user's identity, and with this we will actually be able to get the user's balance in our Firestore. Once we get that, we will pass it to the GPT, and then GPT will actually give it back to the user. So let's go through the sequence diagrams. This is the first sequence diagram of the token exchange flow. This is an in-depth overview of it. So it starts with the user again asking what is my current balance. GPT will convert it to say that I need to call an action and I don't have any access token in my store. So GPT asks the user saying that hey, you don't have access token, so you need to authenticate with the middleware. The user says that okay, fine. It taps on the link, and the user's browser will be redirected to this our middleware. Our middleware will see this request and will redirect the user to Google. So the user's browser will now point to Google with their account picker, and Google will say that okay, which of these accounts you want to share the user ID and profile with. So you pick up one of the accounts, and then Google will redirect you back to our middleware. In this redirect call, we get the OAuth code. This code will be later on exchanged for access token and refresh token. But we intercept this request, and we actually redirect the user back to GPT. The GPT will actually see that it got this code, and then it will ask our middleware to say like okay, now get me the token from this code, OAuth code, and it will also pass me the client ID and client secret. The middleware will again pass on these requests to Google, and Google will then generate an access token and refresh token in exchange for this code. The access token and refresh token will then be forwarded to GPT. Now the GPT has stored all this access token, refresh token in its safely in its token store, and is ready to make the next calls. One thing to note is that access token is only valid for 1 hour, and in order to make subsequent calls, GPT will actually use refresh token to exchange it for an access token. It will be covered later in another flow. Now, as you have the access token, this is the another normal user flow, how it will look like. So again, the user makes a query to GPT saying that what is my current balance. The GPT says okay, I need to make this action call, and this time it has the access token. So it makes access the get balance API request to our middleware with the access token. The middleware reaches out to Google and exchanges the access token and requests Google to give the user details. Google will provide us with the user details like user ID and other stuff, name and etc. Of this, we will just use the user ID and locate the entry in our database for this user, and answer the question around what is my current balance as this JSON object. The JSON object will then be converted into a human readable form, and the user will get this as an answer, like your balance is 100 USD. This is good, but there's one other flow that where we have to do the token refresh if you are making call after 1 more hour. So what happens here is, again, the user makes the API request after 1 hour. The GPT does the thing and make the call to our middleware with that access token, but this time Google says that hey, the access token has expired and no longer valid. So we give this error code back to GPT, and GPT will actually say fine, I will make a call to refresh the access token. So this is the call to refresh the access token. In this, GPT will give us a refresh token. We will again use that call Google and exchange the refresh token for access tokens, and this time we get the fresh access token and with 1 hour validity, and we return it back to GPT. And GPT saves the token in the token store and then continues with the normal flow. So this is all that we had for this session. In the next session, we will do a hands-on implementation for the middleware. Okay, see you in the next lecture. Thanks.